Home to some of the premier fishing lakes and rivers in North America, the Chilcotin Coast is situated between the Fraser River and the BC Coastal Mountains. It's surrounded by beautiful snow-capped mountain ranges, ice fields, alpine meadows, and acres of pine forest filled with wildlife. This coastal area plateau is home to more than 8,000 freshwater lakes and over 17,000 kilometers of clean mountain streams. The Chilcotin, especially Nimpo Lake, is notorious for dazzling rainbow fly fishing. This deepwater lake stretches 12 kilometers in length and provides visitors with stunning scenic views of the surrounding mountains and more activities than you can even imagine winter, spring, summer, or fall. Our trusty host for our trip, Buddy Jones, is going to take us out in the boat and try our hands at some fishing. So we're on Nimpo Lake. What are we going to get here today? What are we after?
Some big fighting rainbows.
Big fighting rainbow trout.
Yeah.
Is it got a pretty good stock?
Yes, this is a good producing lake. You know, you can get times of the day when it drops off for a while, but then I just persevere and pretty soon they all get lively again, start biting again. As lakes go, it's pretty hard to beat Nimpo for just straight fishing rainbows.
So tell me about Nimpo Lake and what captured you and why you wanted to be here.
I'd heard about Nimpo Lake for years before I ever came here, and when I finally did, it was everything I heard it was and more, so I just kind of been here ever since.
Everywhere we look around the lake, there's float planes dotting docks everywhere. Is there anybody on the lake that doesn't like float planes?
I don't know. If they do, they're pretty quiet about it. They don't say too much because they know they're kind of probably outvoted. That's why they call it the float plane capital of BC. There's a lot of people that have their own place here, and they also have their own float plane, like myself.
Now, if I'm a float plane pilot who's not familiar with Nimpo Lake, and I come in, there's so many planes around, there's no base.
You are a float plane pilot,
well,
just
that's
a brand new one.
That's true,
yeah.
brand new, brand spanking. Yeah. But if I'm coming in here, there's no real obvious central point. Where do you get fuel?
Fuel is a bit of a problem. A lot of people bring in their own fuel from the bulk plants in Williams Lake, bring in their own barrels of avgas, and or you know, a lot of people, their airplane can use MoGas, when you need to fly, you'll get gas.
You'll find a way to make it work.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
Nothing like the sound of fuel running into your tanks.
It's a good start, isn't it?
Yeah, that's for sure, yeah.
Now you're just letting out some more.
Letting out a little bit. I'm trying to entice one. They must be having a
nap?
A nap or something right now. Up here you can just kind of slow down and do things in what we call Chilcotin time.
We're here in the summer and it's beautiful. It's lots to do. What about in the wintertime? Is this place shut down in the winter?
The wintertime it's maybe even more activity than the summertime, and in all my time around here I've never been able to figure out which season I like the best. But winter times are just a hoot around here. Everybody visits on snowmobiles. We have big get-togethers and snowmobile trips up into the mountains there, sometimes 30, 35 snowmobiles. We have big gatherings. We light a bonfire and roast up some smokies for lunch, and we have some great times in the wintertime. Every once in a while somebody floods a little section of their ice and we do a little skating, play a little hockey.
Right on.
This country throws a spell on you in the Chilcotin country. It's hard to describe. I've read books and heard other people try and describe it, and I don't even know. I don't even try to describe it. But it throws a spell on you, keeps calling you back. When I leave work down at the coast and come up here, I immediately feel 10 years younger, and that's a help to me. At my age, it's a help.
Ah, that Buddy, what a guy. Not only did he chauffeur the Wings Over Canada team up to Nimpo Lake, but he's also taken us out on the water. So to thank him for his hospitality, we decided to hijack his little skiff and head down the lake to visit one of his neighbors, the incomparable Phil Bates. Can't hit his boat or I'll be in trouble.
Yeah, that'll ride on my float.
Is that all right?
Yeah, no problem.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So tell me about your Bushmaster. It's a home-built airplane.
Yeah, it used to be a Piper Colt, and then I stretched it 3 feet.
And you stretch the wings?
And yeah, that's a completely different wing. The Piper Colt had a very short wing on it. but it's the same rib. It's a Piper style rib, but the wing is just a little longer than a Super Cub wing.
Now you built this specifically for the task of carrying heavy loads off high altitude lakes.
It works good.
You happy with it?
I'm happy with it. Yeah, it goes 110 miles an hour.
Okay.
And that's cool. Those are Super Cub tail feathers on it, which the normal Bushmasters don't have. I put an extra foot in the fuselage, and it took the buffeting out of it. I put large ailerons and intermediate flaps on it.
So you can put a load on it, you can pound the throttle forward and she'll jump off every time.
That's what this is all about. That's why we build airplanes like this.
Okay. Just make sure you got the right piece of equipment for that
And
job.
power. There is no substitute for horsepower. Don't ever forget that.
Now, Phil, I've heard that there's something special up there inside that little cutaway shed.
That's our ice house. You got to come up here in late February
And help fill it?
and fill it. This thing full of ice keeps your vegetables cool.
Right. Vegetables in the form of barley.
Yes, the barley
Yeast,
is a
hops, water.
form. All right. We've used a different technique over the last few years. Here we are in the middle of
Middle of summer and we got a big old block ice.
Yeah, and they do that up here because you can't buy ice. Put it in there. See the fish?
Oh, you caught some fish earlier?
See the fish in the cooler?
So you're keeping them
Yeah, and that's
keeping them cool for the-
we just ice them down with that. I used to fill it right to the top with blocks of ice.
Right.
Right to the top. We'd cut them out of the lake.
And then drag them up.
Yeah, drag them up with that old truck over there and fill this thing right to the roof. But we're getting too old for that stuff. It's much easier to pump the water in and let
then
Mother
let it
Nature
freeze
freeze it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's just brilliant. So do we have power on this side of the lake? Do we have
Negative.
hydro?
There is power next door, but that's not my objective.
Okay.
I didn't come here for telephones and power.
Okay, yeah.
I came here for propane and no telephones. There's a demand hot water heater on the other side there. You can shower all day long if you want.
Yeah.
It's all pumped up from the lake. We come up every spring and put them docks back in. You have to pull them out every year because the ice will destroy them.
So now, if I see those docks out there, that's like a green light. That means you're allowed to land
welcome.
and tie
You're
up.
welcome. And as soon as the camera's shut off, I'll show you where the key is.
There you go.
Yeah, I got quite a few friends that fly by and land here and stay.
You like that?
I don't mind it. That's what I bought it for.
Oh, that's perfect.
Way back when. That was 20-some years ago, but I was a young pup then.
Well, you're still pretty young.
Right, I'm a fossil.
So this is where you're happy, isn't it? This is your getaway.
My getaway, and look what I got around me. I got a bunch of guys with cameras and talking to me, and girls that I don't know.
So you're trying to get away from it, try and get some peace, and then we show up.
Yeah, and then
just
there we
wreck
are.
the
You
whole
tie
thing.
off at my dock and stuff, and here I am.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm glad you didn't shoot us.
No, that's
And-
all right. No, we
and that
don't
you
do
let us
that.
come in.
That's not hunting season yet.
DVD copies of the Wings Over Canada series are available, singly or in box sets at wingsovercanada.ca or at 1-866-909-4647.